Hey guys, what is going on? Excoundrel here, going to be talking today about esports. I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but I really wanted to because basically I ran out of content ideas. But genuinely wanted to do a little bit of talking about some wildrift esports. I'm going to be doing a game today from the SEA Icon series that has been going on this week. And it is a game between Galaxy Racer, which I believe are like a Swedish organization. I cast them in the NLC, and another team as well. So I'll go into that in a minute. But I first wanted to point out something that I came across when I was searching for some wildrift esports VODs. And it is this, the Wildrift India circuit by Level Up Gaming. They don't have many subs. They actually don't get that many people watching. I think it might have ended, which is why we've only got 6 people watching or so. But if you're from India and you want to either get involved or support some grassroots esports, Level Up Gaming, go and check them out. I don't know much about them, but they clearly are putting a lot of work in. If you have a look at some of their like graphics, which you can see here, I don't know if I can show you, it looks pretty cool. Like they've obviously put a lot of like effort into the way that they're producing this stuff, and they are clearly really passionate about esports and about wildrift in India. So go and check them out if you're from India or you just want to support Indian esports in wildrift. This seems like a really fun channel to get involved with. Now, before we get into the actual video, thanks to G2A for sponsoring the channel, referencing in the description below. Let's get into it. I have my draw for July coming out tomorrow. Sorry again, like I said, full-time job and everything. Everything's being delayed. I'm not doing a giveaway this month just so I can get back on top of things. I want to get back on top of like all my admin and get into a flow for YouTube this month, just with all the big changes that I've got with my job. So no giveaway this month. Don't worry about commenting. I like it when you do comment clearly, but you don't feel like you have to comment if you don't usually put a comment down. But yeah, let's get into the Southeast Asian tournament that I'm going to be breaking down. It's one of the Icon series games. Let's jump into it. So it is Action PH, I believe a Filipino team, versus Galaxy Racer. Don't know where Galaxy Racer are from, but I do find it funny that Galaxy Racer's got a name called JC, which you can see over here. Give me 1 second. That doesn't quite look right. What's going on here? 1 second. 1 second. All right, fixed it. I had this bug where I was drawing with my thing, and then it was drawing in 2 different locations at once. It was tilting me. Right. Action PH. The reason I chose this game is that they're actually running an interesting combo in the bot lane that I don't usually get to talk about because it's not something that you see in solo queue that often, and it is Fasting Senna, the true Fasting Senna. What the true Fasting Senna means is essentially it is Senna AD carry, but you're going to give all of the farm to the Galio. So Galio actually farms the minions, and Senna is your AD carry. So she essentially just gets the souls like a support Senna would, but you have like a tanky support or like a damage dealing support that takes all of the farm for you. So this is what the true Fasting Senna actually is, which is what's interesting about this comp, because we don't get to see it as often in solo queue, which is why I kind of wanted to talk about it. We're seeing an Ahri in mid lane. Now, I didn't see the draft phase, but my assumption would be this was maybe an answer to the KATARINA, because you can put a lot of pressure on her early, plus your ultimate allows you to get out of the KATARINA ultimate range pretty quickly. I don't think it's the best answer into KATARINA. Obviously, I think Galio is actually a better answer mid into that KATARINA pick, plus KATARINA is going into a pretty heavy CC comp, including the Galio, which is interesting. So this KATARINA pickup does strike me as a little odd. The Xin Zhao is a really strong jungler right now. If you haven't watched, there are a lot of top tier junglers in Europe, for instance, that still like to play Xin Zhao, one of them being Doom. And I do think that Renekton still remains one of the top tier Baron laners right now. In terms of composition, like you're waiting for Senna to get enough souls. I think you're lacking damage if Senna doesn't get the souls that she needs. This comp does scale up a little bit, but you've got a really strong mid game here. So like this is a really strong mid game, and then you've kind of got the late game here. So this is going to be your mid game, this is going to be your late game, but your late game does pretty much entirely revolve around Senna getting enough souls to be good. If she doesn't get like 80 souls, I think this comp is going to struggle with damage and applying damage as well. Over here, you have got some insane single target lockdown. Like Lucian Braum is super aggressive. So farming Galio, he's going to have a problem. Lucian Braum, super aggressive. One of the best bot lane combos in conjunction with each other, because Lucian's Lightslinger passive allows you to proc Braum's passive more quickly. As you would expect, it procs that passive. The Katarina is the odd one out here, but I guess because you've got a super, like a stupid amount of CC and a stupid amount of lockdown, like it's all about picking your moments with Katarina. I mean, it always has been about picking your moments with Katarina. So, you know, you just got to make sure the Galio taunt's gone, the Xin Zhao ult's being used, maybe Ari Charm's gone out. It's just about picking the right moment as Katarina to jump in here. You've got the Pantheon. He's pretty solid. Again, mid-game, not particularly late-game scaling. Single target lockdown's very strong right now here, and you have the Camille, who's great, you know, team fight presence as well. A very aggressive team comp. This team comp is going to want to go in. They're going to want to force the fights. So if you put the Action Philippine or Action PH team on the back foot by forcing the engage with Pantheon and Camille, like Katarina might get in there and start doing a serious amount of damage whilst they're kind of scattered and suffering. Plus, you have a very low mobility AD carry, Senna. And if you can take her out quickly, like, you actually kind of defang this composition quite heavily. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm not entirely certain what we're going to see here. Now, this is something that you do see quite a lot in pro play. You will see, especially versus weaker mid laners, you'll see a lot of people commit resources to pushing that first minion wave in. What that allows you to do is push some vision into the enemy jungle. You get the Scryer's Bloom. You can kind of see where Pantheon was. So I believe that they actually caught that Pantheon was starting at his Krugs on the top side of the map. Of course, you do lose a little bit of pressure in your side lanes for doing that. And as you can see here, you know, Action PH did get forced away a little bit by the Lucian and the Braum. Not really certain why we're seeing, you know, a Senna goes so aggressive here. And actually, I think if I were Galaxy Racer, I'd want to try and punish that a little bit more heavily, because she actually got some free souls off that I don't think she should have got. And this, I mean, this bot lane is tough to play into Lucian Braum. Like, if you get caught as the Galio by a single Winter's Bite, you're going to really struggle, because, you know, the Lucian can proc it really quickly and they can be very lethal towards melee champions in that lane. In terms of the top lane matchup, like Renekton into Camille, I say that's a bit of a skill matchup personally. I think you can kind of get advantages on both sides of the coin. Looks like Ryzen's found the engage. Yeah, Pantheon's kind of used all of his damage. He smites to get some health back. Here comes Camille. JC's looking for the fight, but it'll be first blood. Complete disaster, actually. Great smite from Ryzen, and that is absolutely nutty. I mean, okay, look. Katarina at this level, absolutely bloody useless. The problem was that anyway got chunked too heavily by the Xin Zhao early on here. And honestly, Galaxy Racer kind of throwing a lot of gold down the drain at this stage in the game. And it does look like the bot lane are pretty eager to make up for it, and they took a bad trade. But overall, you can see what's happening here. The Galio is just kind of farming and taking. He wants the last hits. Senna just wants the souls. So Senna gets obviously more souls when someone else last hits, which is why support Senna's a thing. But the Galio is going to be actually getting the gold this time around, and Galio is pretty useful with gold. Looks like he's probably going to the Rod of Ages build here, so we're going to see a bit more of a damage Galio rather than full tank. So it'll be quite a squishy lineup, actually, if you're playing like damage Galio. I was actually more expecting like a full tank Galio coming out from the support role here. Where is he going with the Infinity Orb? Or rather with the Oblivion Orb? Is he going towards Infinity Orb? Is he going towards Morella Nomicon? I don't know. Interesting. Still, great early start here for Action PH. They've got a top lane scuttle fight that just really shouldn't have been taken by anyway, if I'm completely honest with you. Once you've used your damage reduction, your third ability, like, you've got nothing left in the tank. You have to be aggressive as Pantheon. You're not good in drawn out fights. Like, you have to go in, get the burst damage off, retreat using that third ability, and hope that your teammates have got the rest to back you up. So Ryzen's in a really, really good spot right now. Or Ryzen, I don't know how to say it. Ryzen. They're in a great spot right now. They're ahead in levels, they're ahead in XP, and those early skirmishes is going to help Xin Zhao kind of snowball really nicely. And somehow, our Lucian Braum lane is actually struggling here. I mean, honestly, this is not a problem with the Lucian. It's a problem with the Braum. The Braum's giving way too much free space to Sylas and Eli. Like, Sylas and Eli should not be able to step up to these minion waves. You should not be letting Senna get free procs on you. Even though Senna is a good answer into Braum finds it very difficult in the most part. You want to be positioned aggressively, and as soon as you land a Winter's Bite, Lucian jumps in with Relentless Pursuit, and you proc it very quickly, and you win that trade. I actually think Draw is being too passive in this lane, and he's allowing way too much space over to Eli and Sylas. They should be really heavily punished for stepping up to the wave, because they really, especially as a Galio, if Galio hasn't got Winds of War, he either has to commit or he does nothing. So if he uses Winds of War, which is his first ability, that's all he's got. So they're actually rotating up. I like this. This is actually a nice play. Great cross map from the center. Actually picks up the honey fruit here and gets this disaster. This disaster. Oh, it's such a disaster. Tower diving Renekton is always risky, man, because of that ultimate. Like, tower diving Renekton, it's risky. And the cross-map center ultimate there was super nice. Like, Action PH are in a great spot. They've made some mistakes here. Like, anyway, didn't need to duel Xin Zhao. Like, I especially think because you've got Katarina mid, like, you're not going to win that early. You're not going to win that early with Katarina mid. Okay, they're gonna go here. This is nice. This is nice. They're going to get the Ahri. Oh, come on, guys. Just last hit the tower. Someone just give your life up for the tower at this point. We've actually got draw heading back up. Oh, gosh, it's one basic attack, guys. It's one basic attack. Okay, so we've cross-mapped. Everyone's backing. This is a good opportunity for the Xin Zhao to go for the Rift Herald, which is, of course, spawns at the same time as the Dragon now. So both big, major neutral objectives picked up here. Now, are we going to see Pantheon Man drop? No, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the Man drop. I like to call the Pantheon Ultimate the Man drop. It doesn't even look like they're bothering contesting it. Lucian just needs to push that wave and get a love tap on the tower, and he might be able to pick up the first tower. I think they're going for a sneaky attempted steal with the Redemption, but it won't be the case. Double soul pickup for the center, and looking pretty spicy right now. I also love the addition of the pickup of the Hextech Proto Belt this early on. I think that's a really nice pickup for the Galio because he's a great engage tool in some of these fights. Okay, this is good. Don't quite land it, but the culling's really strong here. Xin Zhao goes in, actually blocks a lot, and then obviously with the center ultimate, they're going to be forced to back away. But it's enough to stop this Rift Herald picking up that first tower of the game, which is really nice. JC gets locked up. They're going for it. The charm lands there. The barrier is going to be enough. Oh my god, he survives for the time being, but EH gets dropped. There he's going to get proc it, and he does. Gets the Brawn passive. Love it. You love to see it. And just go and push in. Push with this siege minion. You have Zivs, who's essentially rotated up towards this mid lane tier 1 to stop it from going down. Keep attacking the Renekton. Keep attacking the Renekton. Nice. And he's actually going to go in here, is he? Oh, the Galio just to prevent it. But that's a good burn of the Galio ult. Like, burning the Galio ultimate is a relatively long cooldown. So, Galaxy Racer clawing back a bit of gold here. Like, you're getting first tower. Or did they even get first tower? I think they might not have got first tower. I think bot lane tower went down before that, right? Oh, dear. I wasn't paying attention to bot lane tower, but if you didn't get first tower, it's not the best. So we've got a Infinity Orb picked up by the Katarina before that she goes for the Hextech Gunblade, which will obviously be the item that she's searching for. I'm imagining the Infinity Orb is because they're a little bit behind and they want that immediate item spike to be able to work around some of these smaller fights, which makes a lot of sense realistically. The Renekton is super strong though. So Renekton is really, really strong right now. What are they trying to do here? What are Galaxy Racer trying to do by just forcing 5 mid? I think you've got a wave stacking top. You need someone to go and deal with that. That wave's going to crash into your tower. So at some point, you've got to commit someone to clear that out. And then you have the Mountain Dragon spawning up. Now, of course, Mountain Dragon is not that important. And if you're Galaxy Racer, you're probably looking for some more item spikes to work with right now. Like, the big item spikes that you probably want to work with are like your 2-item Lucian power spike. You want your 2-item Katarina power spike. So if I were Galaxy Racer, I might just be tempted to say, well, we don't fight this, and maybe we just commit to fighting when we have the relevant item spikes to make it work. Which would be my thoughts. All right, so some disengaging ults. Nice Braum ultimate to buy some time here. Even with that 1 second off Braum's Unbreakable, he's still a very, very good defensive peeling support. Nothing you can do as Katarina versus a Renekton, by the way. I don't blame JC to ever getting nowhere near that. It's such a difficult matchup for you. Like, you just get stunned if you ever try to do anything and get battered realistically. I actually don't think you need to contest this if you're Galaxy Racer. I would honestly wait for your 2-item spikes that make you good. I feel like if you're contesting this, you're actually just giving over a massive advantage over to Action PH. And I think Action PH are actually really good in a team fight because of the Galio. Like I said, like, the Katarina was an awkward pick here because I'm not sure how much it works into this comp. Okay, so they're actually committing with the Pantheon Man drop. That's a nice leg sweep across the wall. We have the engaged Xin Zhao ultimate by some time. There comes the Senna ult as the railgun drops. That's a separating ult. Kill off the Renekton, and they don't. They trade 1-for-1 with the Lucian down. Now it's up to JC to find a really good ultimate here, but I don't think he can commit. And again, I just didn't think the Galaxy Racer won that because I don't think their comp like particularly works well in a team fight when you're behind. And they are, make no mistake, behind. And I really think they should be looking for some 2 item spikes to make it work. Great combo of CC here, trying to buy a bit of time, but he's going to drop eventually. A bit awkward, honestly. A bit awkward. And again, it was only Mountain Drake as well. I don't really think you needed to make that play if you're a Galaxy Racer. Like, I haven't seen the items, but again, the big power spikes for the Katarina, the big power spikes for the Lucian are the 2 item spikes. That's what I would have been looking for if I were Galaxy Racer, and I think realistically you are kind of running it. Okay, we do have 2 items on the Lucian now, so we have the Essence Reaver Solari Charge Blade, which is nice, of course. Katarina a little way off her second item spike, unfortunately. I'm going to go a bit aggressive. But Yamada is very happy to back off here and will be completely fine. I'd love to, I don't know if they show us how many souls we've got on the Senna right now, but she's actually had a really solid game so far. So, what do you do if you're Galaxy Racer here? Well, you have a couple of win conditions. The side lane split push Camille win condition is certainly one of them. Like I said, fight when you have 2 items on these 2 champions. Might work. I mean, if you look at the actual gold, we're only about 5k behind at this point. So it's not like we're like in devastating territory. This is definitely comebackable. You just need to find a good fight. But the Xin Zhao is really, really strong. I think you just turtle behind your tier 2s. I don't think you can protect that mid lane tier 1, especially because you've already shown that you're committing so many resources to the top side of the map. Right now, Action PH are very heavily committing to the group up. And I actually think you're clearly doing fine in split pushing because it doesn't look like Action PH are willing to commit to kind of like putting some resources in the side lane to deal with the Camille. So I think just keep putting pressure on in the side lanes, and when you put pressure on in the side lanes, you buy time. So like if Camille pushes down here, the enemy team is going to think, well, do we go and commit someone there? Do we start Baron? And starting Baron even 4 versus 5 is quite risky, so you always have to be a little careful, especially with the Katarina, who can kind of burst you in the pit. So you know, like split pushing does buy you time because it always makes the enemy think, like, what are we going to do? Like, are we going to commit to someone dealing with the split push, or are we just going to go full balls for the Baron? Like it's always an interesting thing, split pushing. It can sometimes force mistakes from the enemy. And that's why I like that they're sending Zivs to this side lane. Just like, because again, now look, big resources commit. These guys are currently sharing experience, sharing gold. There's no one in the top lane. Like you are actually denying gold and experience from Action PH by doing this, because Action PH are like, well, how many do we commit to deal with the Camille? Now, realistically, look at how far ahead the Renekton is versus the Camille. Like, you know, you can just leave Renekton to solo the Camille at this point. It's going to happen. Like, I don't really think that Zivs is really in a strong spot versus this Renekton. Now, he has kind of overcommitted here, but has the hook shot ready to go. That is a flash. Loads of flashes here, as Ryzen flashes too. But again, look, they've committed 4. They committed all these people. These guys are not farming. They're not getting experience. They're not getting gold. And obviously, Galaxy Racer don't want to go for Baron. They're not strong enough. I don't think they take it quickly enough either. But look, no one's dealing with this wave here. No one was mid. You committed 4 members where there was 30 seconds where no one was picking up experience and gold. And if you actually look at the levels on these teams, they're actually even. So everybody is even levels on both sides, which was not the case earlier on. So this is what happens when you commit someone to split pushing. Like you do make the enemy sometimes make mistakes, and the enemy overcommits resources to try and deal with it, which I think is what we're seeing Action PH doing right now. The benefit that Action PH have got is they have got the incredibly hard scaling Senna at this point. She hasn't got a lot of gold, but I'm assuming she has got quite a number of souls. So that's what we're looking out for. She hasn't picked up the Iceborne Gauntlet yet. Obviously, Man Immune into Iceborne Gauntlet is a pretty solid, like, fasting Senna build. So we're quite a way away from having the items necessary to peel effectively versus this comp. And I think we are looking at some 2-item power spikes for Galaxy Racer now. So this is I think this is actually a relatively good time to potentially look to fight, although that is a absolutely garbage culling from Pal. But I still think this is a good time to look for a fight. I think you have the item spikes necessary to make it work. If you're going to win a fight, it's now or never, realistically, in my opinion. And you're just taking free damage by being at range here. Okay, anyway, gets caught out, forced to flash away. Nice knock-up, but it was a defensive knock-up from the Braum, and suddenly you have positional advantage. If you are Action PH and Galaxy Racer, they do kind of need to go for this. The man drops coming in. Here we go. That is the Renekton ult popped as Zinzao ult to buy some time. That is a huge railgun from the center. Look at them. They just aren't doing the damage. That front line can't get bursted. And I think you might have missed your chance if you're Galaxy Racer. You needed to make the engage happen much sooner than that. If you need to just go for it when you find the opportunity. You need to go for it when you find the opportunity. And I think you've given way too much gold and way too much time over to Action PH right now. And like I said, I think the Camille needs to split push. I think even if you give up Infernal Drake here, I think your only way back into the game is by having Camille, pushing a side lane. And this is going to be the Baron now as well. That is, I think Eli, from the range that I see that he's got right now, I think he must be close to 80 souls. He's definitely between 60 and 80. Because he is attacking from outside the Baron range, which indicates to me that he's either at 60 or 80 souls. I think it might be 80. So obviously Eli's already scaled up really, really well. And yeah, we're in pretty much doomed territory for Galaxy Racer, because Galaxy Racer, apart from the Camille, don't really have any good scaling opportunities here. The Pantheon doesn't scale very well. Katarina into this comp. I mean, what has Katarina even done in this comp? Like, she's done nothing. She's 0-3-2. She hasn't found a single good ult because, again, Galio, Ari Charm, Zinzao knockup, Renekton stun. Like, even that root thing. This is a terrible pick. I don't know why. I don't know why you'd pick Katarina in competitive in the first place. Honestly, just don't think Katarina is a very good competitive pick overall. 2 item spikes, they had them. I think there was an opportunity to fight before that Infernal Dragon, but they let Action PH get positional advantage, and Action PH love being grouped up. There's the Pantheon man drop coming through to defend the tier 2. You know that they're doomed right now because they're just trying to desperately cling on to their own towers. Awful Braum ultimate. Galio will buy a bit of space here, and you can see that no one's dealing damage to Ryzen. It's an incredibly difficult ask to get people in to deal damage to Ryzen when he's so far ahead anyway. And I think Baron should be, or realistically will be, the end of this game. It's a good showcase as to why Katarina isn't very good in competitive, but is relatively good in solo queue. Like, Katarina completely thrives on, like, chaos. But when you're going into a coordinated game where there's communications, like, every time she looks for an ultimate, she just gets dealt with. It's a really good comp from Action PH to deal with the Katarina. There was so many better picks. Like, Corki, Oriana, like, any of these picks were completely fine. I'm not a big fan of the Katarina in this comp, honestly. Don't think it was particularly good. Oh, okay, we're not even going for the Iceborne Gauntlet. We're actually going for Rapid Fire Cannon, Mortal Reminder. So just like pure damage output center. I guess you have enough peeling, right? You've got the Galio, you've got the Zinzao, who's actually going tank Zinzao, by the way. So he's the tank rather than the Galio. Oh my god, they're just like destroying them. Yeah. Again, terrible Katarina ultimate, nothing they could do. And look how strong the Galio is from this fasting center, by the way. It's something that is a little bit maybe understated from what we've seen throughout this game, but this Galio is like really strong, and he's been given all the resources in that bot lane. And because Eli's look at Eli's range, the guy's an actual like artillery cannon at this point. This should be the end though. Nice taunt. Zinzao cleans up, and that should be the end of the game. Big issues for Galaxy Racer this game, I think. I think the major issue was they gave way too much space in the lane to the Galio center. Like, you need to be aggressive as Braum in that lane. Like, you need to be stepping. Oh, sorry. You need to be stepping forward, looking for a fight, and then it's so easy for Lucian to follow up on you. And again, I just think they misplayed really hard. Difficult to team fight because the Katarina was so useless into that comp. But interesting to see some of the builds coming through and some of the way that these games are getting played. Like the SS Reaver Solari Charge Blade build for the Lucian is actually like the strong build, but it just wasn't looking very strong this game because they were so far behind. And also, Galaxy Racer messed up level 3 when they went like, why are you committing to a fight? Why are you even getting into a fight when you have a Katarina at level 3? Katarina is not a champion until level 5 most of the time, and you're going up against an Ahri at level 3 who power spikes really hard because she has all of her skills. And Zinzao spikes hard at 3, and Renekton spikes hard at 3, and you have a Camille Pantheon, who's decent, but then a Camille and a Katarina who are not that good in these stages of the game. It was a really weird place to look for a fight or even get close to getting into a fight. So yeah, Galaxy Racer just didn't play this game from well from start to finish. But there we go. I'm going to be watching some more of the Icon series over the course of the next few weeks. But it's a good example of why Katarina is absolutely garbage and competitive. There you go.